Good morning. It is so wonderful for us to be out here on this sunshiny day. To the Councilman Montgomery, to Mr. Conrad, head of our Recreation and Parks, to the city manager and his staff, and to Mr. Grant and his staff. I believe I saw Mr. Page here, Mr. Page, and to the former Councilwoman Johnson, and to our, now I'm not going to call roll today, but I do see the Chief of Police here. And to all of us who've gathered on this day, it is my pleasure to say to you, it is just an occasion that we will all remember at this particular time in the great city of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. At this time, I'm going to ask you to give attention to the mayor. I talked with him yesterday, and he wanted to know, was everything all right? I said, I'll ask the city manager this morning, everything all right? Chief of Police, everything all right? Okay, thank you. All right.
Good morning, everyone. I regret that I can't be with you today for this very significant event, celebrating the beginning of a new life for this great facility here at Winston Lake Park. This park, as many of you know, is a gem, a hidden gem, if you will, in the whole infrastructure of the City of Winston-Salem's Recreation Department. However, it's been here a good while, and it needs a little upgrading. It needs an upgrading to provide facilities and amenities that are what's current today and what hopefully will attract young people to this facility. Today, we're celebrating and announcing and beginning about $5 million worth of improvements to this wonderful facility. It will be a significant attraction for this area, one of the most outstanding ones in our community, with a lazy river, with a 111-foot water slide, with a large pool, a zero entry pool, a new bathhouse, just to name a few of the amenities that will be coming into this area. We certainly see this as a way to help us as we continue to work on the whole issue of childhood obesity. It's a growing problem, and not only in our community, but across America. So it would be facilities such as Winston Lake that will maybe attract young people and encourage them to be active and to exercise, all at the same time having a lot of fun out there. Our kids here in Winston-Salem deserve attractions such as this, and we're happy to be able to provide it. It's being provided because of voters, because you approved about $139 million worth of bonds in 2014, and there's projects going on all across the city, more than 300 projects, from roads and police stations and fire stations to recreation facilities such as this. So the voters of Winston-Salem are seeing their dollars go to work very quickly, and today we're celebrating some improvements that will make our kids very happy. Thank you.
Thank you. We're so pleased to hear from the mayor. At this time, I see Councilwoman Adams came in. We're very happy to have you. And we do have a place if you care to say something after the council member speaks. So at this time, I would like to present our council person of the Great East Ward to come forward. Councilman Montgomery.
This morning I'm reminded of words that come to me from a poem called Bridge Builder. And it simply says this: an old man gone, a long highway came at the evening cold and gray, to a chasm vast and wide and deep, through which was flowing a sullen tide. The old man crossed in the twilight dim. The sullen stream had no fear for him, but he turned when safe on the other side and built a bridge to span the tide. Old man, said a fellow pilgrim near, you're wasting your strength with building here. Your journey will end with the ending day. You never again will pass this way. You've crossed the chasm deep and wide. Why build this bridge at the evening tide? The builder lifted his old gray head. Good friend, in the path I have come, he said, that follow after me today, a youth whose feet must pass this way. This chasm that has been a knot to me, to that fair-haired youth may a pitfall be. He too must cross in the twilight dim. Good friend, I'm building this bridge for him. think about today and all that has happened of culminating into making this happen. What we're doing today is something that will allow people for generations to come to enjoy the greatness that is Winston Lake Park, but to enjoy it in a way in which has been a long vision and a long process moving forward. And what I'm grateful for today is first and foremost for the voters deciding that they want to invest in bonds that would pay for this. But more than that, grateful for the community in which this park rests. For I think we have the great opportunity, one, to have a jewel in neighborhoods and communities in the upgraded park facilities that we will have here today. But also, as we look at this, it was always thought that what would be placed here would be something that would benefit the entire community, the entire city. And what I believe that offers is yet another opportunity from people across the city of Winston-Salem to come into this community and to see the greatness that is the East Ward, and to continue to be able to enjoy the amenities that we have here today. And so first and foremost, again, I say thank you to you all. I say thank you to those who had hard work and diligence in this process over the years prior to us even getting to this place today. I must say a great champion for making sure that there was a pool that would return to East Winston, Ms. Marva Reed. I say thank you for that. If you were on city staff at any point in time in this process, you know that Marva Reed, she had petitions, she knocked on doors, she talked to individuals, and she said, we want a pool back in our community that is accessible to the community. And so Marva, we say thank you to you for your hard work. I would be reluctant if I did not also, yes, that's clappable. I would also be reluctant if I did not also salute our Director of Parks and Recs, Mr. Tim Grant. I get to say that his last groundbreaking was the groundbreaking at Winston Lake Park. And to you, Tim, I say thank you for your hard work, your service, your leadership in Parks and Recs. And this is all a part of the hard work and culmination of you and your team. And so we say thank you personally for the hard work that you've given to the city of Winston-Salem over the years. So again, thank you. As well, Councilwoman Burke already mentioned Ms. Johnson, former councilwoman for the East Ward. Again, we say thank you to you for your leadership and your consistent leadership in community today, but also to all of you and again this community. This fosters a great opportunity for us to continue to be excited about what's happening in our neighborhoods and community. And I really want you to understand there was one thing that happened in this process, and it speaks to not just this park, but what happens in the future as well, is that this project was a little delayed. And it was delayed because when the city received responses and bids, the bidders who bid did not meet MWBE goals. And this council had committed that if contractors want to contract with the city of Winston-Salem, then they must meet the MWBE goals. And the council rejected all bids so that we could get a contractor that would come in and that would commit to making sure that they met the goals to employ individuals, minority and women-owned businesses in the community. And today, I think, as we see almost $5 million being invested here, we're going to see those dollars have the opportunity to circulate back into our community. So again, I say thank you to the council, thank you to the community, and thank you to all who will help make this project come to fruition. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Council Member. How many of you, when you were growing up, took swimming lessons right there? My son, he would go down, where's that place, up there somewhere? They used to go to the pool and take the lessons. And then I thought about when I first came to this city, my husband in college, getting out of service, and we used to find this a very pleasant place. Every Sunday we would come and have our dinner here. So it's going to be that joy that we once experienced again. And I'm pleased that the councilman would recognize, as I had recognized Councilwoman Johnson, recognize her, because I want all of you to know, each of us, when we get elected, we're on the shoulders of the people who served before us. And we will admit truly that Councilwoman Johnson has worked very hard, and we must give respect. Thank you, Councilperson. At this time, I'm going to ask Councilwoman Adams, and after Councilwoman Adams, Councilmember Besse, please come speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, Councilman Montgomery. it is morning. I tell people when you retired, it's hard to get up in the morning, boy. But thank you all so much for coming out here today. As Councilmember Burke alluded to, I too remember every Sunday dinner was at the lake. You put that Kool-Aid in that old pickle jar or pickle feet jar, and you wrap that chicken up in some newspaper, and you put that potato salad in a bowl, and you would come out here with your family and neighborhood friends and enjoy the lake. One of the things, the council members, we want to thank you again for supporting the bonds to be able to invest in our infrastructure here in the city, because we needed it. You know, there was no doubt about it. We need it, and we still need some more things to be done here. But this is just the beginning. I want to tell you that when we started out on this journey and we began to talk about what we wanted to see for the city of Winston-Salem, we talked about, I know I did, I said, why wouldn't we have destination locations in our city that other people will want to come and visit and bring their families and do their events here? And that meant we had to rethink how we looked at what we had here in the city of Winston-Salem. Winston Lake has always been a jewel, particularly in the African-American community. It was really the only lake outside of High Point and a couple of others that we could go to. But we're bringing it back, and again, Miss Reed and the citizens that live in this area, we're bringing back the pool. And we just want to tell you, along with the quarry, along with Salem Lake, along with Winston Lake, Winston-Salem is going to be the place to be when it comes to bringing family for leisure and entertainment. Again, I want to thank the Parks and Rec Department. I want to thank Mr. Conrad on the Parks and Rec Commission and those that are here. But again, we are just so excited. I just cannot wait to see what is going to happen here. Again, thank you all for being here this morning.
Thank you. While Councilmember Besse is coming forward, Mr. Conrad has people who work with him. With the commission, please raise your hand, members of that. All right, thank you. We see one. The committee, Mr. Grant, your staff, well, they just raised their hands so we can see.
Yeah, Parks and Rec.
Thank you. Councilmember Besse.
Thank you very much, Mayor Pro Tem Burke. Thank you, Councilmember Montgomery, Councilmember Adams. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming here today. I know that Councilmember Adams reminded you of what a center of the community Winston Lake Park was decades ago. I remember when I first came onto the council in late 2001, it seemed that it had been forgotten. And it was clear when I would come and visit that it was underused at that time, that it had become a neglected, a forgotten gem in the system of parks in Winston-Salem. With this new facility, we are going to bring it out of the shadows and into the full daylight again, where it will become a center of community activity citywide, as it deserves to be. This is a beautiful, beautiful park. If you go out and walk on the trails, walk on the roads, walk around the lake itself, you'll see how lovely it is. Too many people in our city don't know that now, and they will learn. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the bonds and make it possible to have this new drawing facility, this aquatic park. And I see a big grin over here. I know who was talking about, water facilities at Winston Lake Park for years and years and years before now it's finally happening. And I am just delighted to have been able to be on the council to support its going forward. Thank you so much.
What we need to say is this. Sure, this park was neglected, but I want you to know that the councilwoman before spoke clear about this park. But what happened when you get other folks with the same thoughts, the same dream, and can get the vote, it becomes a reality. And when a city manager clearly understands that he is the city manager for this whole city, not just one part of the city, and when we say clearly that we expect for every part of this community to be respected and cared, every neighborhood is important. And we have a city manager who understands when we speak about the needs and the respect we want for our taxpayers, the east of 52. So that's when things happen. Now, Mr. Conrad.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Burke. I have to say that one thing about this area, it's no longer a black area. This area has changed. Every nationality now is living in this community. Yeah. And recreation was designed to be a stress reliever for the taxpayers and their families. Recreation brings cities together and communities together. So I have to come down here lots of time, and I see kids getting off because kids are our future, and we have to bring them up right so they'll know what everything's about. But in the meantime, I'd like to say we're going to miss Mr. Grant, who's the Director of Recreation and Parks. He's done a terrific job all the 10 or 12 years he's been here. And I'd like to bring Mr. Logerman here, who is my Vice Chairman. So you can come over here, sir. So let's just wish this would be a bigger and better area for all kids and families. Thank you. I want you to meet him. Say a few words.
My 11th grade history teacher.
That was a long time ago. Anyhow, I'm glad to be here, and I appreciate everybody coming out. As Mr. Conrad said, recreation does bring people together, and I'm glad to be a part of this event. Thank you.
The individual that we have, whose name we have been calling, is not going to speak. I understand, I have not read it, I heard it, he's on his way to retire. Someone said, why retire as a young man? And I believe he told somebody, I want to enjoy some of my life. And I think that's so important. Retiring does not mean that you're not with us. We're sure that this city will use your resources. There are many things that you can be a role model and a mentor for other young folks in other programs. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Tim Grant, the Director of our Parks and Recreation. Mr. Grant.
Good morning. Good morning. It is a beautiful day to be here. And this is probably another one of the most exciting projects that we've had an opportunity to work on. Before I say anything, I would just like to thank a couple of people. Marva Reed. Marva, this was her vision when I first met her. Wow. 15 years ago, this was her vision. She wanted a pool. The original pool, which was over here where you now have the Ray Agnew football field, was built in, I believe, May of 1963. And it ended up closing in 1992. And Marva had that vision. And as Councilmember Montgomery said, if you were on city staff or you were an elected official, that was her vision. And what you see today is a group of people, including citizens, elected officials, city manager's office, and our staff coming together to try to create something that is different and unusual. And most of you should have picked up a diagram of this facility. This facility will be unlike no other that we have in our system. When you talk about a recreation pool, you talk about a 16-foot water slide, you talk about a lazy river that gives you an aquatic experience, and you talk about a huge water spray ground with a new bathhouse. That's fantastic. That's something to be proud of. And I just want to thank city manager staff, my staff in recreation and parks, but more importantly, thank the city council for their vision with all of the bond projects. Thank you, the citizens, who believed in that vision and voted for that vision and were willing to pay for that vision.
That's right.
Because that's where it starts.
That's right.
The other thing I want to do, I know I see one other person here I want to thank this morning, Denise Scott Johnson, who is the retired Assistant Director of Recreation and Parks. Denise, thank you for coming out today. But also, I just want to, this is a tough day for me. And I've got one more week. Yes, I am retiring. I'm not as young as I look. I will say that. Thank you for all those compliments. But this department, this city, and these bond projects will continue. They will continue because you have a group of dedicated city staff, a group of dedicated contractors, MWBEs, engineers that are dedicated to providing the best experience, the best project that they possibly can. Only thing we need now is when this project is finished, I want you to find every person who can't swim and get them over here. If you're a grandmother, we got something for you. If you're a grandfather, we got something for you. If you're a parent, we have something for you. We need you to support this project, this facility, and we look forward to the day that we unlock the door. Thank you so much.
One thing that I do believe in, that we recognize people and we show them that we appreciate them. And we, again, we cannot say, as the council member was speaking to me, how much we appreciate Marva Reed. Now, Marva, stand up, please. And let's give her another rah-rah, ha-ha. Thank you, thank you. And I know you all have her pictures, spotlighting her. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Also, I would encourage all of us as we look at this historical site, there are different names on different types of athletic places. When we look at the tennis, it's named after some tennis players, the Hunts, Archers. When we look at the football, it's named after Ray Agnew. We look at where they play baseball. When the little boys did not have a place to play, I spoke to Mr. Pat Swan, who was over this area. And he made sure that that was set up so they would have a place to play, because where they were playing, they had been told they couldn't play anymore. We named that after Mr. Cloud. And then we have something named after Mr. Jones. He went to the Olympics and he did something great. And I'm pleased that it was a pleasure to initiate this project, where we would have a comprehensive recreation area. And what was making it comprehensive was we had the Y, I see Mr. Daniels there, to come in this area. So it looks like it's going to be what we've been dreaming about. And I'm so grateful that God has allowed it to happen. And we as elected officials, the mayor has spoken about being transparent. We all are transparent. And we invite you, if it's something you want to know, we have a city manager and a staff that you can always go to if you can't reach one of us. But we're visible and we're available. So again, thank you so very much for coming to this great activity. And I believe it's now time for us to have the turning over of the dirt. Is that right?